Here we go. We're doing this thing. The Mike Herrera podcast is starting right now. Thanks for joining us. Day, night, whenever, wherever. Are you at work? Are you at home? Are you at school? It doesn't really matter. Hopefully this is going to help you. We're going to have some voicemails. We're going to talk about MxPx. We're going to talk about, I don't know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about your voicemails and whatever it is that you ask me, and we'll get into that. But you know, I was thinking about my wife. Happy birthday to my wife. Her birthday was last week, and yay, she got a new car for her birthday. Now, it wasn't really planned, let's say, and it's not new. It's a new used car, but it's a nice new used car, and it's an upgrade from what we had before. So the reason I kind of wrecked her car. Yes, I wrecked her car. I was driving it. I don't drive it often. I don't like driving her car. It's a much different car than what I have. It was an Acura MDX, and nice car, very nice. But yeah, it was rainy that day, and I had to slam on the brakes, and the brakes locked up, and and that's that. So a little stressful this summer, a little bit, but we got through it, and she had a great birthday, and we all had the whole family, everything. It's been a good summer. The kids, we've been riding bikes. We've been doing some cool stuff. Of course, MxPx has been very busy behind the scenes, working on songs. We've been working on new shows, announcing new shows left and right and center, and who knows, maybe there's something coming this week. Stay tuned for that. Yeah, I'm excited, and I've been just nose to the grindstone, trying to make things happen and stay above board. And you know, it's a team effort. It's not just me. It's a lot of the guys in our team, and even Mary and my mom over in the merch arsenal. So shout out to Merch Arsenal, MxPx.com, Merch Arsenal. We have a bunch of new products, including these 7 inches, these 100 direct hit split. Their song's called 110. You can get 2 variants. This is JavaScript black, and this is, I think it's binary blue. That's right. Love this stuff. It's so much fun. MxPx.com. Thank you for keeping the lights on. Anytime you support by buying anything from the store or just listening to MxPx, really it does help on any streaming site, on YouTube. That all helps and makes a difference. So thank you guys. We've got this. We've got these tongs. This isn't tong. This is the spatula. But we have tongs that are like this that I use a lot for chicken, pork shoulder, pork loin, whatever, you know, ribs. I'll use those. They're at the house, actually. That's why I've been using them every day. But we have all this kind of cool stuff for grilling and just everyday kind of use, because after a while, t-shirts are great, hoodies are great, love them, we're going to have them, we got hats, everything. You got to have that stuff available, but sometimes you got to go beyond that, and so we went with the grill set, and we even have towels and a bunch of summer gear and bathing suits. We have a 2-piece bikini. We have swim trunks, surf trunks that are really good quality. I've been wearing those. My son's been wearing them. Good quality swim trunks for the guys and the girls. They're non-gender. The trunks are just trunks. So dig those. MxPx.com for that. All right, let's hear from you. It's been a minute, so let's get back into some voicemails.
Hey, how's it going? I had 2 questions. The first one is around the Buffalo era, slow going away the Buffalo. You had this really chesty, full, raspy sounding voice. And then sometime around before everything and after, it kind of switched to kind of more of a heady, clean tone with not too much rasp. Was that deliberate on your part as your technique, or was it had more to do with the producers? Second question is there any chance of getting anyone from the following bands on your podcast? Sugar Ray, Sugar Coat, or Lit? I know you have some mutual friends in some of those guys through the Bowling Pursuit guys. Yeah, I was just wondering if you know, if there's any chance or if you ever had any connection to any of those guys from Sugar Ray, Sugar Coat, or Lit. All right, take it easy.
All right, great question. Interesting question on the Buffalo era versus before everything and after era. I think it was just a producer and the songs were different, you know, just different songs have different production and have different voices. I don't feel like it was my voice changed really. I could be wrong. I mean, there are times when you know, I sing, you know, I'm trying to think of the songs. There's no hardcore song on Before Everything and After. It's all melodic. Even when it's fast, it's melodic. So I think that probably has a lot to do with it, because I mean, the song itself is going to determine how I sing. And there are EQs that has a big difference too. So Steve Kravac, I think he did a pretty good job with my voice. And Dave Jordan, and then he produced Before Everything and After, but he didn't mix it. And Dave Jordan did mix it, and we did not like the mixes. So we paid even more money. It's like a never-ending recording budget, but we paid even more money to have Tom Lord Alge mix half of it, and then Chris Lord Alge mix the other half. And so it's mixed by, you know, some of the top leading rock and pop mixers in the business, and it sounds slick like that, probably a lot because of that. But before that, I mean, even aside from mixing, production wise, I don't remember Dave Jordan telling me, hey, give it more gruff. Like he definitely produced me while I sang, as did Jerry Finn, as did Steve Kravac. They all do. And it's more of a, you know, all right, give me more of that. All right, we say buffalo, say buffalo, okay? You're saying buffalo. So like sometimes you say things you don't notice, and then they can hear it because they're listening back. So they'll say you like, hey, try to pronounce that word with a little more O instead of ow. Things like that with whatever word it may be is very common in the production game. Now, should I be offended? I'm not going to be offended, because as an artist, you have to have thick skin, and you're putting yourself out there. Every album, every song, every performance is going to have scrutiny, as it should. I don't think you should hold back, you know, your questions, because certainly I feel like I need to be putting forth quality. And I guess quality is it's subjective, right? So not everybody is on the same page as far as quality. I feel like a lot of times what I consider quality is much different than what somebody else considers quality. So it's subjective. I'm not going to go into what I was just thinking about going into, which would hurt other bands' feelings. So I don't want to do that. But yeah, I have a certain level that I try to get to, and it's not like it's always there, and that's why we need producers. We need producers to give us that level of quality. You know, it's almost like when you buy a T-shirt and you get the sticker on it that's like, you know, inspected by this person, you know, an actual person with a little initial on it, right? That's kind of what a producer does. In some ways, not the only thing, but one of the things you do as a producer is your quality control. You make sure that the singer is performing well. You get that performance. You get the vocal tone. You're like, okay, I know this person can sound like this, and it's not really doing that yet. So maybe you just need to open up. You need to warm up your voice. Whatever it is, just take it easy and work into it. There's a lot of ways to get those tones so yeah, I don't know exactly, but I think songs definitely will dictate how raspy your voice is. Now, that's me, not everybody. Somebody's got a raspy voice no matter what, and somebody's got a clean voice no matter what. But I can rasp mine up, and I can clean mine up. It's great. I love it. I love being able to do that. So like with something like Fist versus Tact off of Buffalo, it's meant to be a screaming song. It's a screaming song. And then also Screw Loose off of Plans Within Plans. I feel like that's a great song. I think that's the album it's on. It's a really cool song. And again, raspy voice, right? Now there's gonna be other songs on that record that are a little more pop, a little more melodic, that will probably have a cleaner tone to it. So, I would wonder what your thoughts are on some of the random albums and also some of our brand new albums, like say Find a Way Home. What are your thoughts on those vocals? And there's not a lot of screaming on that either, but we do have Ready to Rage. All right, great question. Now, your second question about can I get somebody from Sugar Ray, Lit, or Sugar Cult on the podcast? Now, the question is a great one, and the answer is easy. Yes, I can, and I could, and I probably should have by now, but I just haven't. You know, I just don't think of it. So great idea. I have met Mark from Sugar Ray. Great guy, really nice guy. He knows us, we know them. I don't have his phone number, but I'm sure I could probably figure that out. Same Lit, know all those guys, met them, toured with them, played with them. I consider them friends. All those guys are great guys. I don't know the ins and outs of their, personal lives, but as far as I know, they're great guys. And same with Sugar Cult. Like I haven't talked to those guys in a while. Marco, I see much more often. So yes, I could probably get Marco easily. He and his wife Victoria lost their house during the Palisades fires, or around that time. I don't know if he was actually the Palisades or what, but so yeah, he went through some devastating experiences. I could get him on. But I know all the guys from Sugar Cult. We toured with them. I toured with Marco even before he was in Sugar Cult, before Sugar Cult was a band. He was in the Ataris, so he played bass for the Ataris, and then he played guitar for Sugar Cult. And yeah, know all those guys. The great guys. Sugar Cult's one of those. Cult is a great name for their band because I know Bayside tries to claim they have a cult following, but like really, Sugar Cult, for how they've done nothing really, they have such a cult following. They just put out those classic records, and nothing against Bayside, but I'm just saying, like, Sugar Cult has a true cult following for not really doing anything except write a couple good records. The records didn't even do well at the time. I think. Their big hit, Bouncing Off the Walls Again. Maybe they have another big hit. I don't know. But the great songs, really, really great songs, man. I'd love to get those guys on and talk about those songs and talk about what they might be doing, what they might be planning. If nothing, that's fine too, because sometimes you just, not everybody has to come back. It's not a prerequisite of making good music. So, yes, the answer is yes. Will I get them anytime soon? Probably not. It really is kind of like, I think of myself, so many people ask me to do podcasts, and it's not that I don't want to do them. I just can't say yes to everything. And so for the most part, I never even hear about it. My people will just not say yes. They'll say no or whatever. But I just can't do everything. I do my own podcast. So I think the best way to do it is just get on here. But to be honest, to me, I don't like to bother my people that I know are in the same business as what I do, unless I have a real, all right, they got a record coming out. Okay, let's put them on the podcast. So I think, somebody like Marco probably has something going on from Sugar Cult, but nothing to do with Sugar Cult. We could talk about Sugar Cult and then talk about whatever he's doing now. And that makes a lot of sense. And same with Lit and Mark from Sugar Ray. Those guys are touring all the time. Maybe not every month, but they're doing tours every year, and they're out there. So I see it. So yeah, Maybe I'll hit him up one of these days when I feel froggy. Great idea. All right, let's get to Justin.
What's up, dude? This is Justin from In Years to Come. So I was at the track just listening to Teenage Politics, and I was just really analyzing your lyrics, and I was wondering, are there any lyrics, whether from that album or any other albums from the past, that maybe you regret? I wouldn't say regret, that you maybe feel differently about, because that album was obviously critical of American politics and stuff like that. So I'd really like to get your feedback on that. Also, have you considered making an album called Midlife Politics? I think it would be a hit. Appreciate all that you do, Mike. Keep it going, man. All right, peace.
Great call, Justin. Thank you for calling. At the track, I love it. Doing some gambling. What are you doing out there? You racing? Are you racing a car? You racing horses? What's going on? Dogs? People racing? I don't know. Anyway, I love it. I love that you're contemplating an album called Teenage Politics from 1990. I want to say 5. Did it come out in 1995? We recorded that spring break of our senior year of high school in Wallingford, California, which is North Seattle, U District, and Avast Studios. We recorded with Bob Moon, and I know you didn't ask about the album, but that was a long time ago, and we were all kids, and I was going 100% on adrenaline, on momentum, on whatever I might have heard, but people were drastically less knowledgeable about life and the world back in those days. So I knew about skateboarding. I knew about girls. I knew about authority a little bit. I didn't know how social dynamics worked very well. I used my songwriting and my songs as a diary, as a way to ask questions that, who do you ask questions to? I'm asking the world. I'm asking the sky. And for that reason, no, I don't regret anything. And yes, maybe I have a different opinion about some of the things I wrote about, but that doesn't make me regret it. Just shows that we can grow, that we do grow as humans. We grow from childhood to adulthood, and there's plenty of adults that never grow up, but they grow up in different ways and don't grow up in other ways. I mean, I certainly have a childlike mind in some of the things that I do, in some of the habits that I have, but I use it as a learning opportunity. I use it as a contrast to see how far I've come, how far we've come as a society, as a band, me as an individual. It's all there, and none of it's set in stone in a period of time, but it's not set in stone in my life, in my head, in my mind. It's I can change my mind. I can get better. I don't think anything I did was wrong, or anything I wrote about was wrong. It was just, sometimes as a kid we can be very brash, very indignant, and the way we go about things, even though I feel like I'm trying to be tactful and tell others to be tactful, like a song like Fist versus Tact, I need those lessons. I need to be tactful myself. I need to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. Oh my gosh. All right. Yeah. As far as midlife politics, that's what we're going to name this podcast, Midlife Politics. Maybe not just this episode, maybe instead of the Mike Herrera podcast, I should call this podcast the Midlife Podcast. But at the same time, what does midlife mean? Because that could mean a lot of things, and I know it just means we're old, but like I said, I feel pretty young, and I have a childlike mind in a lot of ways. Some are probably habits I need to break, but in other ways, I feel like it's like my whole personality and my whole lifestyle, my whole life and what I do. It's like I'm in a band. I'm a band guy. Like, you know how, like, luckily I'm married, I have children, I'm good to go, but anything can, God, heaven forbid anything, but anybody at my age, like trying to go in with game, if you're a band guy, like, wait, what do you do for a living? You're a band guy? No, I'm going to go with this banker, like, it sounds like a lot of work, a lot of turmoil, a lot of heartache, a lot of baggage, a lot of this, a lot of that. You have a podcast? What? Like, if you really think about what I do, it's kind of crazy. Like, I'm a band guy, everyone. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Thanks for watching on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. Like, it's kind of like, I do this because, well, this is how we communicate to the world. It's not like I just woke up one day and I'm like, I'm going to be a YouTuber. No, YouTube is a tool to communicate to the world. And there's lots of platforms out there, but YouTube's one of them. So it's one of the big ones too. So, I mean, I get it, right? Like, you get it. Midlife crisis. I don't know if I'm actually going to change the actual podcast name, but I will name, in honor of you, we'll name this episode Midlife Politics. All right. But it makes you think immediately midlife crisis. Now, as far as an album, I would say that a lot of what I write today is a reflection on where we are today, where I am today as an adult, as a human, not trying to be writing high school songs, but like, there's high school dynamics in all things, and you can find a relatable thread in most of what I write, I feel like. And so, although I don't think I'm going to name anything Midlife Politics, I think I'm already writing the album Midlife Politics. I'm writing about life now and all the craziness that goes along with it, good and bad. Positive, absolutely. Negative, sure. We can't have one without the other. I feel like it's like the Star Wars story. You don't have a movie unless there is good and evil, light and dark, right? You don't have a movie. So I feel like it's the same with music. I mean, sure, a lot of our music is very positive, but there are those negatives that bring us back into the positive. So you got to recognize what's going wrong. Try to fix it. Try to just understand it. Try to live with it. Try to go through it. All of these things are true, and it all leads to positivity. So no matter what in life, we're here to build things. We're here to fix things that break, and I think that's relatable with music for sure. We can break ourselves down with music. We can lift ourselves up with music. And I appreciate you being at the track, psychoanalyzing my lyrics. I love that. And if anybody else has done the same, please call in. And ladies, especially ladies, we haven't had a female human call in. That sounds so weird. Female human. Just nothing but male humans calling in lately. We need some ladies to call in. The number is 360-830-6660. Leave me a voicemail. Topic is open. Whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want me to talk about. Let's go. All right. What's next?
Hey, Mike, this is Cyrus, the self-proclaimed biggest Before Everything and After fan in New Mexico. I got two different topics I wanted to ask about today. First up, in just a few weeks, myself, my girlfriend, and a buddy of mine are all traveling to Seattle to go see a hometown Death Cab for Cutie show on my birthday, which, fun fact, your wife Holly and I both share a birthday, August 2nd, so that was a cool thing to throw in there. But I wanted to ask, what would you recommend, being from Washington, cool things to do in the area while we're there? It's going to be like a weekend trip. So I just wanted to know if there's any cool things that you know about that a visitor might enjoy doing, whether it's a cool food place, record storage, anything that could be fun for someone out of state to try out while they're there. So I look forward to hearing about that. And next up, 100, great song. I have the 7-inch on vinyl already. I've been listening to it nonstop. And it got me thinking about all the other great singles you guys have released over the past decade or so. Just the standalone singles like 100, Set a Fire, Can't Keep Waiting, Fever Dream. So many great stuff you guys have that obviously don't have any place on albums. And I was wondering what it would look like as like a compilation release and like cool artwork and everything for if there was to be like an album with all of those songs on it. As a big album listener and CD collector, I think it'd be cool to be able to own all those songs and listen to them in one place. And if not even a physical release, I'd still be interested to see how you guys manage it with like maybe a custom mix on streaming services and how you guys would like organize the track list of it. I don't know. It's just kind of been an idea roaming around my head. I love all those songs. And like even the covers, San Dimas, Franco-American, so many great stuff there. So yeah, just kind of wondering if we could ever maybe see a compilation release of like all those songs on one release. But that's about all I have to ask today. I appreciate you taking the call, and I look forward to hearing back from you and on the podcast, and I look forward to all the future MxPx plans that you guys have prepared for us. All right, take care. See you later. Bye.
Thanks for the call, Cyrus. Happy birthday, belated birthday. I guess we got it a little too late, but I'll still tell you where to go, what to do. And of course, we'll talk about some single album stuff. So yeah, happy birthday. Same as my wife. Very cool. What to do. I wonder what you did end up doing. Death Cab for Cutie. I saw those shows happening, and yeah, good for them. Good for everybody. Love it. So what would I do what would I tell people? So what I would do is, one, go to the Space Needle if you kind of enjoy seeing views. The whole Seattle Center there is kind of fun to walk around. Go to the museum, the music museum. That's really fun. It's the Experience Music Project. So anyway, that would be fun. If you're at night, go, maybe after the show, a tradition would be either get a street meat, a Seattle dog, right outside wherever the venue is. There's usually multiple hot dog stands or sausage stands or whatever you call it. It's bratwurst and different stuff. So anyway, either that or another Seattle staple is Dick's Burger. So Dick's Drive-Thru. There's multiple locations around Seattle, but go there after a show, and that's always hopping. And be careful, because Seattle can be a little weird at night. It can be a little weird during the day too, honestly. A lot of homeless people, a lot of crazies, a lot of just people out of their minds, a lot of meth heads, people walking around bent over. It's wild. I've been pretty lucky for the most part. If you see somebody walking really menacing down the street toward you, you have to be careful, because they might have a knife and they'll just stab random people. That's literally happened. Like, I've been like walking and some guy starts attacking somebody on the same street as me. Just like, all right, let's go over here. So that's what not to do in Seattle is don't not pay attention to your surroundings. If you have extra time, I would say take a ferry. If you have an all day thing and you actually want to go to Bremerton, take the ferry to Bremerton, check it out. If you're not really, you don't care about Bremerton, I would take a ferry to Bainbridge Island. It's a much shorter, it's like half as long to get there. If you have a car, you can still take your car over there, but then you don't have to take a car. I would just walk over, and there's a nice little shopping area and restaurants downtown Bainbridge. But if you don't want to take the ferry, because the ferry's great because of views, again, walk around waterfront is awesome in Seattle. There's a bunch of different things to do. The aquarium, there's tours, water taxis, the whole 9 yards, and of course Ivar's Seafood is down there. It's fun. I would recommend Wings Over Washington is really cool if you have kids. It's a show that you go in, and it's kind of like Star Tours at Disneyland, where you're watching a screen. It's like IMAX, but you're actually moving. It's pretty wild. And then it's not that wild, to be honest, but it's cool for kids. It's fun for adults, but it's cool for kids. You might want to go on that Ferris wheel. I personally have only been on there once, and I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to do that again. But another thing, like, Seattle Space Needle, which you're way up high looking at views. I don't know what else. I mean, it's good times. There's tons of great food in Pioneer Square, all around downtown Seattle there. There's tons of great places to eat. Quality places. All right. You asked about 110 and all their singles we've released over the years that don't have a home or aren't part of an album. Well, will they ever be part of an album? I think yes. I think we've always sort of figured eventually we'll put a lot of those singles into a collection of songs. And I don't think we're in any hurry to do that, just because we're just working on new stuff a lot. And once we don't have any plans to make a new album anytime soon, then we'll probably work on one of those types of projects. We almost did a cover album years ago, and we had half of it done. We had done a bunch of covers, and we had a couple more on the list to do, and we just got busy making records and touring and doing all this other stuff. And because of the way things have changed in the algorithm world and the streaming world and the music business world, it's very hard to do, a cover album, because they treat everything as if it's an album, and it will just kind of skew a lot of our algorithm things. I don't understand any of that. That's what I've been told by management. So, but we definitely probably will still do it at some point. It's just a matter of when. Don't know. I think we'll have more singles out before this album will come out, and then that single could, those could be part of an album, and who knows? We're always working on something, but great idea. All right, I spent way too long on this question, but thanks for enduring my rambling. Here we go. Here's the next one.
Yo, Mike and the rest of the band, congratulations on over 30 years. Crazy. I first discovered you guys many years ago in a bookstore at an end cap had the MxPx poking at you. I got that. I got the Blunderhead Prime Kennedy Burnout, the Focus Bow, and a Crucified CD. And been listening to you guys since Garage Again. You guys still put out amazing stuff. Your last two albums have just been amazing. A song that hits most for me, I have a 12-year-old, 10-year-old daughters, and the song Moments Like This always hits me hard. So, congrats again to the band. When you guys come out to the LA area again, I'll be there again. I've been going since your guys' first tour way back. I think I got called a couple years ago about that. So, but yeah, I've been seeing you guys since your first tour. So keep it up, and looking forward to the new stuff.
Well, that's amazing, man. Thank you so much for calling in. Appreciate that so much. You've been there from day one. Those are the old Tooth and Nail end caps, Tooth and Nail Push and Focused. The Crucified, I don't know if that was Tooth and Nail or not, but I think it was, actually. MxPx, we kind of got that early start going down to California. People really thought we were from California because we were down there, and it was like, how else would they be here if not living here? But really, we would fly down or drive down, depending on what the shows were going on. We would just fly down and do a show and borrow gear, and we'd have our guitars. Wild times, man. And here we are 33 years later. Appreciate it so much. We will definitely be back to LA and Orange County, Southern California, all over. We love it. We love you guys down there. Thank you for the support. Thank you for listening, and thank you for continuing to listen. The fact that you're still, you're listening to the podcast, man, that blows me away. It means a lot. Thank you so much. All right, let's do one more, and you guys have yourselves a great week. I appreciate you. Here we go. Here's Gabe.
Hey, Mike, it's Gabe from Kennewick, Washington. Excited to go see the show in Boise coming up in September. but I was at work right now listening to some music, and one of my favorite songs came on, What's Mine Is Yours. And I was wondering, can you tell us what that song is about? And how did you come about it? Because it's one of my favorites. All right, have a good one later.
All right, Gabe. All right, here we go. I'll try to make this as painless as possible. So we were talking about how I was young and I would just write things kind of using songs as my diary. And I would say this song is a very much a diary song. It's me venting. It's me frustrated. It's me mad. It's me pissed. And it's a song about being ripped off. It's a song about being taken advantage of. It's a song about your trust being broken. And you thought you knew somebody, but they turned out to not have your best interest in mind. And that's a song about the MxPx tooth and nail beef. When we were in a fight with them, we were going back and forth, and then finally they said, you're going to have to contact our lawyers from now on. We don't want to talk to you anymore. And so it was just, I had to write a song. I had to vent. I had to tell the world what I was feeling, and I don't regret that. Not at all. It's true. It's it was true at the time, and it's still true. Not that things haven't changed. I'm cool with Brandon Ebel now. I'm almost glad that we went through all. I mean, I am glad we went through all of that, because we wouldn't be here right here now. I wouldn't have this studio probably. I'd have something else or whatever. I know I'd be doing music and still be going, but I would just be somewhere else. It would be a different thing. So whatever timeline we're on now, as cursed as some of it is, there's a lot of blessed parts. And even getting ripped off is kind of just part of that story. So now I don't want to get ripped off anymore. Like let's go. Let's fix things. Let's make sure we're on the up and up. But at the same time, like, I'm not out there to take every penny off a table. No. We leave plenty on the table, and that's because it's the same reason why I work for myself rather than working like a corporate job, an office job. And no offense to people that are working corporate and office jobs, but I never did it. And, I always worked for, I was kind of a grunt worker when I was in the workforce until I was just doing band stuff and self-employed and an artist. But I would rather just do this longer and for less money than be a banker for a ton of money. Now, if I needed a bunch of money, I'm kind of in the wrong business. Like I hate talking about money, but you get what I'm saying. Like, there's just a lot more money in finance. There's a lot more money in this and that other than being in a band. But I feel so lucky to be doing what I'm doing. And I guess just being able to do it for a living is the result of hard work. And not just hard work, because you got to get lucky, right? You got to have some things go your way. And believe me, I can't even talk about most of the things that don't go our way. It's just like so frustrating. It's so insane. And it still happens all the time. And that's why I say things like, if you want something in business, you gotta go get it. You gotta take it. You gotta make it yours, because no one's gonna hand you anything. And as soon as someone tells you they're gonna hand you something, do not trust that person. They're lying. They're in it for some other ulterior motive. That's just a general rule. There are exceptions to every rule. But you got to get out there. You got to make things happen. And you're going to fail. And yes, it's okay to be frustrated. But don't be frustrated and let that linger. You have to get over that frustration. You have to let that roll off your back like a duck with water run, like water rolling off a duck's back. You got to let that go. You got to make it happen. You got to continue the next day right back where you started. Get up off your butt. Make it happen. I mean, that's what I tell myself. And if I didn't tell myself that, I'd be a lot more bummed all day long, all the time, because things are constantly not quite working out, like almost this, almost that. And yes, things do work. Absolutely. Eventually. It's usually after a lot of persistence. And that's, I think, the lesson here is anything you expect to happen overnight is not going to be quality, and it's not going to stay for very long. You have to spit shine everything constantly, and you have to keep coming back to it because things get out of line, things get wacky, things in the universe are meant to just fall apart, you know? It's like when you fill up that bird feeder, it's not going to stay full. The birds are going to come, they're going to eat. You need to fill up that bird feeder again. All right, I feel like I'm just reiterating the same point over and over and over again, but I do appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the support. MxPx.com. We have a ton of shows happening. Starting in September, we're going to be in Bend, Oregon, Boise, Idaho, and then in October we're going to be in In October we're going to be in Quebec City at Capitole Theater Capitole. That's October 24th, and then October 25th. 25, it's Montreal at MTELUS, and then in November we're going to be in Fayetteville, Arkansas. We're going to be in St. Louis, Missouri. We're going to be in Louisville, Kentucky. We're going to be in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Whew. Get those dates, get those links. Everything's on sale right now at MxPx.com, but don't wait because they are moving. They always do. I appreciate you guys. The Ataris are on all those shows. And it's going to be a blast. So we'll see you there. Shout out to Bob McKnight for producing, for keeping me in line, keeping me sane half the time doing this podcast. I appreciate what Bob does for me. And I appreciate you guys for listening. Please go over to the Mike Herrera YouTube page and give this a like or a thumbs up, and give us a subscribe on YouTube. That would, even if you never go on YouTube, if you have YouTube, please just go subscribe to my YouTube. I need to get a few subs up. That would be amazing. Everywhere else, I don't care. Whatever. Don't follow me, unfollow me. Do what you got to do. But the YouTube needs some love. All right. MxPx.com for all the rest. And I appreciate you guys. Until next week. Until next time. Peace.